Oh, if that sun is the only sun that we have that has heat, which the Bible's saying here, there's not 200 billion other suns out there like your current model says, and there's not 20 billion other Earths out there like our current cosmology tries to claim. There's one, and we are special, and God made it for us, and He created the moon, sun, and the stars for us. So it's really special and amazing when you go through this.
Yeah.
Any questions on any of that, bro?
No, man, no, I'm just absorbing it all in, man, taking some notes that we can double back, man, and we can hit up as we go along. No, that's pretty. I got a theory on that firmament as well. So we'll come back to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. All right, so the moon and the sun is a light, as I told you in the book of Genesis. And there's a few verses, just I want to tell you real quick, like Ezekiel 32, it says, I will cover the sun and the moon shall not give her light. It says there's also verses in Mark where it talks about the moon not giving her light, the sun not giving his light, stuff like that. So I just want to let you know that there's other verses besides that to tell you that the moon is a light and the sun is a light. And so we have that.
You don't need, well, first of all, you don't even need biblical verses to prove that. If you ever been out in the wilderness in the middle of the night when that moon is up, man, you can see a long way. And if you follow the model, I mean, even if you follow the heliocentric model, like you said, the sun is not reflecting off the moon because it's on the complete opposite side of the earth at that time, right? So there's no reflection on it. So the moon 100% gives off light for sure.
Yep. And also when you do a test, an experiment you could go into the moon's shade and then click, and it's actually hotter in the moon's shade than it is from the moonlight. So the moonlight is actually colder.
Right.
But if you do the opposite with the sun, then the sun obviously is going to be cooler in the shade and hotter in the sunlight. So we have that. So that's an experiment you guys could do.
Right.
And very interesting. Now let's go over the firmament. That's something that I kind of touched on. I told you what the word means, rakia, solid, expanse, firmament. So there is a theory out there by Ken Hovind, which I think he does an amazing job at debating people in biology and also like the age of the earth. He does a great job in that. But what he believes in the heliocentric model, what he says is that the firmament was a solid piece of ice canopy surrounding the globe, and that when the flood happened, it melted and it caused the water to come in. So that cannot be true. The reason why is because God put the moon, sun, and the stars in the firmament. Yeah. So if you have it in the firmament, then that would have to be outside of the entire galaxy for that to be true. What Ken Hovind tries to say is, well, there's two firmaments. There's one that was around. Yeah, see, now you're getting into adding to the Bible because God made the firmament, not firmaments. And also, so we got to understand that. So I want to let you guys know that.
I'll put a little asterisk on that, man. I'm pretty unlearned about what we're going over, but even I could shoot like 20 holes in that stupid theory, no problem. The firmament melted. Well, first of all, they just found 3 times the amount of Earth's water inside the crust of the Earth than it's on the ocean. And the Bible even says that water receded. And it says that when the rain, it rained at the same time the water came up. The firmament didn't melt. So get away from here.
Okay, so we can even talk about that real quick with the flood. Okay, so what we got to understand is there's 3 separate events that happened with the flood. One of them he went over. It's called the fountains of the great deep were broken up, so water came from below. So that's the first event that happened. So let's say Noah's ark was right here. Water came from below, pushed his ark up. Right. The next thing that happened was the windows of heaven were open. I told you that heaven is actually firmament. So the windows of the firmament were open and water came from above. And then it said it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. So now you have water coming from above, filling up the fishbowl. You have Noah's ark already been pushed up from the water from below. So it kind of keeps him in safe. And then it says it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And the water was above the highest mountain, 15 cubits. So if you have a fishbowl with the firmament, the water can fill up right to the highest mountain, and that's no problem. The water is doing that. When you have a globe, it's crazy. But one thing is the Bible also says a little bit later that it says the fountains of the great deep were closed, the windows of heaven were closed. It actually said the windows of heaven were stopped, but if you click it in the Hebrew, it means closed. So those windows of heaven were closed. The sluices is what that means of heaven were closed, and it stopped raining for 40 days and 40 nights, right? So there's 3 separate events there that happened in the flood. Yeah. most people will not tell you about. Pastors will tell you that it just rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Some will go over the raining and then the water coming, but they stay away from the windows of heaven were open. They say it's a metaphor for rain. Why would God mention it 3 times? Like God does not say stuff for no reason. And that's a firsthand account from God when it talks about Genesis anyway, just letting you guys know.
Yeah,
but,
and also too, I had to help some people on a previous video I did. I made a comment, man, that there's fossilized clams at the top of Mount Everest, and other fish, starfish at the top of Mount Everest. And so, how did it get up there, y'all? Come on, it climbed. It's not obviously the water was above Mount Everest when that happened on it. So at this point in time too, with the soil samples that they've put out, man, and every ancient civilization that had the ability of a written language has a flood story in it. You can't deny the flood. Like, even if you want, even scientists can't deny it. So they tie it to this thing called the Younger Dryas event. Even they won't even deny it anymore, that there was a great deluge upon the earth. So that's not even debatable. Unless you're an atheist, and then you probably can debate it. But other than that, man. So yeah.
And that Psalms 19:1 verse that I went over, I just want to let you guys know, there's a scientist that came over from Operation Paperclip. His name was Werner von Braun. He was like he's not the creator of NASA, but he was a higher up in NASA. He's a rocket scientist, that they brought over. On his tombstone, he has Psalms 19:1, the one where I said, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. He has that on his tombstone. So basically just letting you know, supposedly he got saved, at the age of 66. They had that number, it's very, very convenient, but the age of 66. And so he passed away, and that's what he put on his tombstone. Yeah. Is that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Very interesting. And as I went through that verse, you probably know why he probably put that on there. It might be a breadcrumb for you to chase down the fact that he has a tabernacle for the sun. The sun is going forth in the heaven, and the earth is fixed and immovable and not moving. Okay. Yeah. So we have that.
And to add for reference to people who you might not know who Werner von Braun is, he was actually a Nazi scientist, rocket science, invented the V2. We snatched him up at the end of World War II, brought him over here. He became a big wig in NASA, and he became really good friends with the people down in Disney. Let that sink in, where he was actually big on designing if you go to Disney now, the Epcot Center, they have the Land of Tomorrow. That was his design and stuff like that. And so he was heavily, I had heard that he was in the Thule Society over there, which was a huge occult that the Nazis were in, but a lot of people say that he wasn't in the Thule Society. It doesn't matter.
The Brotherhood of Saturnalia. That's one of the big ones in Germany, right? Yeah. And what does he call his rocket?
Yeah.
The Saturn V.
And a lot of people equate Saturn to Satan. Satan's planet, the rings of Saturn. So the fact that he got saved and came around, hey, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus loves the people we hate. So remember that, guys. Remember that.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.